If you're planning a trip to Lisbon, you cannot visit this beautiful city without exploring the iconic, beautiful and historic area of Alfama. It's the oldest neighbourhood in Lisbon.
I've lived in Lisbon since 2013. Let me run through how I would spend a day in Alfama.
We're going to start the tour at the oldest house in Lisbon, Casa dos Bicos. This building isn't special just because of the way it looks. No, it also survived the 1755 Great Lisbon earthquake. It was built in the 16th century by the son of the governor of the Portuguese India.
Inspired by Italian Renaissance and the palaces of Bologna, he covered the outside of the building with diamond-shaped stones that give the building a spiky appearance. But today it's currently where the José Saramago Foundation is based. He is a Portuguese Nobel Prize winner for literature in 1998. You can learn more about him at the exhibition, or you can just admire this beautiful building from outside, and then we can stroll on to our next amazing spot in Alfama.
So let's have a quick stop at the Igreja Santa Maria Madalena. It's a historic church that was founded in 1164 by King Alfonso Henriques. The Church of St. Anthony in Lisbon is an important spot in the history of Lisbon.
He is Lisbon city's patron saint, and this church holds a tomb marking the exact spot of his birth. St. Anthony is known as the patron saint of lovers, the poor and the lost. On June the 13th, Lisbon celebrates him with the famous Santo Antonio Festival.
The Sé is the oldest church in Lisbon, and it was built in 1147. It was commissioned by King Alfonso Henriques, who was the very first king of Portugal.
The Sé is famous for being the first religious building constructed by the 12th century Christian Crusaders. Before this time, Alfama was a Muslim district, and the Sé was built over a former mosque. Unfortunately, in 1755, the church was greatly affected by the Great Earthquake. It's been rebuilt and renovated several times after that, blending different styles from Romanesque to Gothic to Baroque. It's also the burial place of the patron saint of Lisbon, Saint Vincent. It's a very popular monument in Lisbon, so expect it to get very busy. If you don't want to go inside, you can view from outside, grab a coffee from the yellow kiosk, or dine al fresco underneath the orange trees next to the Sé.
We've got to stop here.
But I'm not going to stop for a meal. I'm going to stop for a delicious Portuguese ice cream. Gelado de Alfama is a cozy ice cream shop where you can grab handmade Portuguese gelatos. It's very much appreciated to purchase Portuguese brands on your trip to Portugal, and to be honest, they taste better.
The Miradouro Santa Luzia is a stunning, beautiful viewpoint in gorgeous Alfama. Once home to the Santa Luzia Church, which dates all the way back to the 12th century, this pretty little viewpoint was part of the garden. Hence the fountains, the bust of King João I, and the beautiful, gorgeous purple flowers framing this amazing view.
This Miradouro is quintessentially Alfama. It's historic, picturesque and brimming with Lisbon's charm. These days you'll often find buskers playing traditional Portuguese music, adding to the quintessential Alfama feel.
Portas do Sol. No doubt you've already seen this iconic view of Lisbon. The image is probably the most famous of Lisbon, and you cannot visit Alfama without checking out this beautiful viewpoint.
This area is definitely a must-stop when visiting Lisbon. The iconic viewpoint provides sweeping views of Alfama's terracotta rooftop. The name Portas do Sol, meaning Gates of the Sun, refers to the historic city gate that once stood here. You'll also share this square with the beautiful statue of Saint Vincent, the patron saint of Lisbon. As with most things in Lisbon these days, expect to share the space with a lot of other tourists. For the most stunning views, consider visiting at sunrise or sunset when the light casts a golden hue over the city and the golden rays reflect off the sparkling River Tagus.
The history of Lisbon is a beautiful and educational mural just underneath Portas do Sol.
The history of Lisbon is a vibrant comic-style artwork located in an almost hidden tunnel underneath the Portas do Sol Miradouro. The artwork humorously illustrates key moments from Lisbon's past, from its origins to the 1974 Carnation Revolution.
The Castle of São Jorge. The Castle of São Jorge is named after St. George. the patron saint of soldiers and knights.
The Castle of São Jorge is a prominent feature of the city of Lisbon and has watched over and protected Lisbon since the 1st century BC. It's originally a Moorish military stronghold before being captured by King Alfonso Henriques in 1147. The castle has served many purposes, including a royal palace, a military barracks and a national monument. It's currently €15 to enter for adults, under 12 are free. However, the queues are horrendous, as you can see. If you're not a fan of queues and being around a load of other tourists, then this might not be for you unless you want to arrive super early. But the rest of the days, this is what it's like. But hey, let's go back in time to when I visited in 2020 when no one was there and I had really bad hair.
During times of COVID, I've pretty much got it all to myself. The castle we see today is actually a replica built in the 1940s specifically for tourists. But the castle, the gardens and the views are definitely worth a trip on your visit to Lisbon. If you're walking around Alfama, it's a convenient stroll just to check out this beautiful viewpoint, and it's definitely worth it.
Although not technically in the Alfama region, we recommend visiting this viewpoint on your day trip in Alfama. Easily reached by the famous Tram 28, the Miradouro de Graça is a must-stop for panoramic views of the city, Alfama and central Lisbon. Grab a coffee at the open-air cafe and mingle with tourists and locals. The name Graça translates to English as grace, and the church, originally built in the 14th century, adds a historic touch to the area.
But there isn't just one viewpoint to check out in Graça, there's two. Miradouro de Senhora de Monte used to be a little secret. The secret is well and truly out, and it's definitely on the tour guides and tuk-tuks hotspots.
The name is Our Lady of the Mount in English, and it has several Christian monuments. The Miradouro gives a stunning 180-degree panoramic view of Lisbon, and it's one of the highest spots in the city. Just beside the viewpoint lies the modest chapel of Nossa Senhora de Monte, a quiet 18th century sanctuary steeped in local lore. While usually closed to the public, it sometimes opens in the late afternoon. Inside you'll find a centuries-old stone seat said to bring good fortune to expectant mothers, a superstition once favoured by Portuguese nobility. You can also leave a lock of love.
From Graça, you can quickly jump on the iconic Tram 28 to our next stop on our walking tour in Alfama. The National Pantheon. The National Pantheon was actually built in the 17th century and is the burial place of many important Portuguese personalities,
including notable individuals such as the Fado singer Amália, Vasco da Gama, the explorer, and the famous Portuguese footballer. It was originally built as a church, but it became a pantheon in the 20th century. The church's construction began in 1556 and the building wasn't completed until 1716. It took 2 centuries to complete. The dome was added later, and today you can climb up to the dome for amazing views of Lisbon. The design is Baroque and the interior features beautiful marble and Baroque decoration with various chapels and altars. The dome is an impressive 20-metre diameter. It's only €5 to enter, and if you want to get away from the crowds and do something touristy but not with loads of tourists around you, then this is your best choice.
You cannot visit Alfama without learning about Fado. They go hand in hand. At this informative museum, you will learn all about Fado singers and its history and why it's so important to Alfama, and you'll also learn about important Fado singers like Amália. Praça de São Vicente de Fora, or the Old Alfama Square, is one of those quiet little spots in Lisbon that feels like stepping back in time. This little historic square is the perfect place to catch your breath after a very long day of exploring beautiful Alfama. So after your little quick stop, it's time to move on and explore the winding, beautiful streets of Alfama. Alfama literally traces its roots back to the beginnings of Lisbon. In fact, during Moorish times, Alfama was the whole of Lisbon. This area has seen numerous influences, but none more so than the Moorish. And the name actually comes from the Arabic word Al-Hama, meaning hot mountains or bath.
Amazingly, the 1755 Lisbon earthquake did not destroy this area, and thus the area's kept its small, winding streets and secret little spots, perfect for you to wander around and get lost. You can find secret little places like Miradouro de Santo Estevão. It's the kind of hidden gem that rewards those willing to seek it out. It's perched above the winding streets of Alfama, and this viewpoint offers sweeping views of the Tagus River. It's usually much quieter than the other famous miradouros. There's street art all over Alfama, and quirky little random things like this. There's just so much to explore in this quirky area.
So after your busy day, after you've walked for miles and miles, but you haven't even noticed how far you've walked because Alfama is so stunning that your attention is on the views, the beauty, and not on how many calories you're burning.
It's time to eat more calories at Casa São Miguel. It's a charming cafe in Alfama. Customers can choose from a delightful array of traditional Portuguese pastries. They even produce their own pastel de nata, all served in a cozy Art Nouveau inspired settings adorned with antique porcelain and vintage decor. The staff are super friendly, and it's a truly delicious way to enjoy the taste of Portugal in its sweetest forms. So be like me and grab a cup of green tea and a delicious slice of cake. And in the evening, you must try one of the famous Fado restaurants. It's synonymous with Fado. The story of Fado is one of late-night taverns, gossip and passion. Born in the 19th century among sailors, tavern-goers and love-struck poets, Fado flourished in Alfama's smoky bars.